welcome back to another video. So today I'm going to be doing a what I've been watching video. So just basically going through things that I've been watching recently on different streaming services. I love watching these myself because when I finish a show or I want a film to watch, I always get loads of good recommendations of what to watch, and also it's good to know maybe what's not worth your time as much. Like if someone says, oh, that's a really bad film, don't watch it, then you've just saved yourself from wasting 2 hours of your life. So I really like watching these videos. So yeah, let's jump right in. I have my trusty notebook. So I've written down my notes on here, just because I film on my phone, so I can't read my notes from there. But I've also got my laptop as well for like googling cast and stuff, because I always find it really interesting to know who's been in different shows and stuff. Because sometimes I'll watch something purely for who's in it. So yeah. So let's start off with Sing Street, which is a 2016 film. I watched it on Talk. My mum has a Talk box, and I was at home during lockdown, and we watched this together on like Friday, Saturday night with some gin teas, and it was really sweet and a really easy watch. So I'll just read out the plot for you. So this is from Wikipedia. It says, with the recession hitting people hard in Dublin during the 80s, Connor is moved from his private school to a tough inner city alternative. As he tries to adjust to a new way of life, he decides to start his own band. So basically it's this Irish kid called Connor. He's from Dublin, and he goes to this new school, and he's sort of getting picked on and stuff, and then he doesn't really fit in, and then he sees this girl across the street and he really wants to speak to her. So he goes over and talks to her and says that he's in a band, and that he wants her to be in his music video, but he doesn't have a band. So then he just suddenly has to set up this whole band just for this girl, and the music is really cool. It's like all 80s style music, and I'm pretty sure they're original songs. I've not heard them before, and they're really, really, really good. Like watching some of the scenes of the band, I was like, oh yeah, like I can literally imagine like going to watch them. So that was really cool. I'd probably give it like a 7 out of 10 overall, because it was really enjoyable, but it you know, it's not like groundbreaking or anything like that. So I will just do a quick Google search of the cast for you. I don't know if you can hear the typing sounds. I love typing sounds. I think they're really nice. So the main boy is played by Ferdia Walsh-Pilo, and the main girl is played by Lucy Boynton, and his brother is played by Jack Raynor. He's quite famous. I think I've seen him in other things. He's in Midsummer with Florence Pugh. So yeah, and it was really cool. I really enjoyed that one. I'm not sure if you can get it. I've not seen it on like Netflix or Prime or anything, but my mum just rented it. I think it was like a few pounds, but it was really good. Okay, next up is Desperate Housewives. So this came out in 2004 and ran until 2012. It's a sitcom series, American. I'm watching it on Prime, Amazon Prime, so I'm on season 3 at the moment, and it is so good. I love it so much. I'm just obsessed. I can't get over like how I've never seen this before. I used to see it on channel like E4, I think. Like it used to be on a lot, but I just never watched it. And when I started watching it, my mum actually said, oh, like I used to watch that, and she used to like wait every week for the next episode. But luckily I don't have that problem. I'm just completely binging it. Like if I'm not doing anything that day, I would just watch episodes and episodes of that, and like I will not be bored. And it's like quite dramatic, and the characters are really lovable, but also there's some of them that are like good to hate, and you know, you kind of like that. I just love them so much. So this is the plot from Wikipedia. So it says, a close-knit group of housewives reside in Wisteria Lane. It may appear to be a seemingly perfect neighbourhood, but it hides many secrets, crimes, forbidden romances, and domestic struggles. Yeah, so it's like got a lot of crime in it too. Like it literally starts with the crime. The whole first season is them like figuring out like why, like what happened to their friend and stuff, and like there's a lot of mystery, and like new people move into the lane, and like they're always shrouded in mystery. So it's really cool. There's 8 seasons. They're like 45-minute episodes, which is perfect for me. Lynette is my favourite housewife. Love her. Love the oversized shirts. Love the like that very 90s hairstyles. Like she's just great. Not got a bad word to say about her. So I would give it a 9 out of 10. Maybe even a 10 out of 10. If I'm being perfectly honest. You know, it's not very highbrow entertainment, but I don't really care. It's just I just love it. So I'm gonna Google the cast for you now. So it's got a lot of these people were made famous by the show, I think. So Eva Longoria, she's probably the most famous, and then Terry Hatcher, Felicity Huffman, Marcia Cross, Nicolette Sheridan, and they're like the main housewives. Nicolette Sheridan is in the new like remake of Dynasty, and she's really good in that as well. That's what I've seen her in. That's a really good show as well. It's not mentioning it in this video, but watch that. It's on Netflix. If you haven't seen it, it's really good. So next we have Greenland. So this is literally really new. It's out this year. It's a Prime original movie, so it's just on Prime exclusively. Starring Gerard Butler and Morena Baccarin in the main roles. So I will read you the plot now. John Garrity, his estranged wife, and their young son embark on a perilous journey to find sanctuary as a planet-killing comet hurtles towards Earth. Amid terrifying accounts of cities getting levelled, the Garritys experience the best and worst in humanity as the countdown to the global apocalypse approaches zero. Their incredible trek culminates in a desperate and last-minute fight to a possible safe haven. So basically, the world is about to end. There's a huge comet coming down. Like, the little pieces of it are literally like exploding whole cities and like countries, making earthquakes. It's very dramatic, and they get this message at the beginning, like that they've been chosen to like go to a safe space. So like it's all about them like trying to get to safety basically. It's really action packed. It's very tense, bit of a nail biter if you will. I watched this with my boyfriend because we both like action films. Like it's sort of one of the genres of film that we can like be in the middle and agree upon that we both really like watching. So yes, that was really good. Very happy. As soon as I saw it, Gerard Butler, I was like, yes, put it on. I did watch the trailer, but I didn't even go into deep research about the film. I just was like, trailer, very, very impressed. Let's go for it. And I was pleased. I would give it a 7 out of 10. Just because some of the things were a bit predictable, and again, I think I'm quite harsh. I'm not giving out 10 out of 10s for nothing. Like, you need to earn your stars. So I think 7 out of 10 is actually quite impressive. So well done to Greenland. And following on from this, my next is actually a trilogy starring Gerard Butler. Olympus Has Fallen, which is 2013, London Has Fallen, 2016, and Angel Has Fallen, which is 2019. And Night Has Fallen is on its way sometime this year or next year, I think. I cannot wait, I literally cannot wait. So these are on Prime. I think they've actually just been taken off Prime because me and my boyfriend watched the first two, and then we had to pay to rent the third one, Angel Has Fallen, but I think it was £2, so it wasn't too bad, and it was quite nice because we were having a movie night and stuff anyway, so £2 isn't too extortionate, but we just had to see it. I was like, I don't care, I need to watch this film. So I would give the series an 8 out of 10 for these reasons. So it's action packed, the plot, I'm loving the plot. It's simple but also complicated at the same time, and the action makes it complicated even though the premise is kind of simple in the first one anyway. The graphics though in the first film, this is a 2013 film, right? So you'd think, oh, that's actually not that long ago, 8 years ago. The graphics, I'm sure, would be you wouldn't think they were bad, we're not talking Jaws here. But they're so questionable, so, not to spoil anything, this isn't a spoiler actually. There's a lot of action, right? So there's a lot of sort of explosion type things. And they basically at the beginning of the film there's these planes explode and then they fall from the sky and it looks so fake. It's literally someone, it's they had, oh, we've only got £1,000 left for editing, doing special effects, so we're just gonna have to do really, really bad ones. It's really strange, but I'll read you the plot now from my laptop of the first one. Just so you can get a feel of what it's about. So it says, when the president is kidnapped, a former Secret Service agent must use his expertise to rescue him as well as the other hostages. So Gerard Butler plays Mike Banning, who is the Secret Service agent. He's so good. So talented. Morgan Freeman is the vice president, and then Aaron Eckhart is the president. So those three are all really, really good. And yeah, it says here it had a $70 million budget and it made $170 million at the box office, right? So why can you not do graphic effects? It just makes no sense to me. It does improve throughout the films. The third one is a lot better. Second one is still a bit iffy. I just would love to have an answer to that. So if anyone knows, do let me know. But yeah, I would really recommend it if you like action films, and again, it was a really good thing to watch with my boyfriend because we both found it interesting, both enjoyed it a lot. So yeah, that was really good. So next up we have Modern Family. So this started in 2009. It's actually, there was a series out last year, but I'm pretty sure it's still like it's still going on, so I think there will be another season. I don't know when. So it's on Netflix, Amazon and Disney, so there's lots of places to watch this, but the one thing is that they only have seasons 1 to 8, and you have to pay for season 9 and 10, which, or maybe even season 8 as well, I'm not sure, I can't remember, but you basically, they don't have them all free anywhere, so that's upsetting. I will give you the little synopsis. Modern Family. So it says 3 modern day families from California try to deal with their kids, quirky spouses and jobs in their own unique ways, often falling into hilarious situations. So the episodes are like 22, 3 minutes each, so it's like a sitcom, like they're short episodes. Something new happens in every one, and it's not like there's an overarching plot, it's just generally like following their lives, and I really like it. It's so easy to watch. This is actually the 4th time I watched it, so I mean, take from that what you will. The writing is just amazing, like it's so funny and nuanced, and like some of the jokes are so subtle, and like the characters are just amazingly written and amazingly performed as well. I really just think the cast, it's just something like magical about the cast together with the writers. It's just so good, and the kids when they are young, it starts off them quite young, they're so funny, like you can just tell the kids are just naturally like funny kids, and it's just really amazing. So if you haven't watched that, I definitely recommend it. I think most people I know have seen it, and I would definitely give it a 10 out of 10 because it's amazing. So some of the cast: Sofia Vergara is Gloria, Julia Bowen, Sarah Hyland, Ariel Winter, Jesse Tyler Ferguson, Ty Burrell, Eric Stone Street. Ty Burrell plays Phil Dunphy, and he is my favourite character from this. He is so funny. His jokes they're just so funny. I actually just can't, talking about this now is making me want to watch it again, and I really just shouldn't because I've seen it so many times, but maybe I will just bite the bullet and pay £20 or whatever it is for series 9. We will see about that. Okay, so next up I got It's a Sin. If you live in the UK, you probably heard a lot about this recently. So it was made this year, or out this year should I say, and it's on Channel 4, so you can watch it on all 4, 4 on demand. It was just amazing, it's really, really good, and I would urge everyone to watch it. I'll Google the synopsis for you now. But it starts in the 80s, I believe, if I got that right. Yeah. So the synopsis is: Richie, Colin and Roscoe leave home at 18 to begin new lives in 1981 London, but they find themselves challenged by a virus that most of the world ignores. So it's about a group of young gay men living in London in the 1980s. That's when the AIDS epidemic spread to London and started killing loads of boys, and it was just ignored because it was seen as a gay problem, and being gay was seen as a sin, and just so people just ignored it and pretended it wasn't happening. And I feel like everyone's heard about the AIDS crisis, but I think just the power behind this series really resonated, and it was so heartfelt, and it was really sad, but also it was such a celebration of queer pride and what it means to be gay, and how that it's not something to be ashamed of, and that we need to celebrate it. And yeah, it was just really, really good, and it made me want to go and party in the 1980s, but we can't do that, unfortunately. But and the cast is really good. Like, I don't know if they're friends in real life, but the way the relationships they portrayed on screen were so and I've already said heartwarming, but heartwarming. They felt really truthful friendships, so that it just made you feel for them even more when something would happen, because you could see their friendship was so real and so deep. So yeah, I would really recommend it. I would probably give it a 9 or even a 10 out of 10. So I'll just Google the cast for you now. So Ollie Alexander plays Richard. He is the lead singer of the band Years and Years. They're a really good band actually. Their music's really cool. Lydia West, Neil Patrick Harris, Keely Hawes, Omari Douglas, Sean Dooley. For some reason it doesn't have all of their names here. But yeah, I would definitely recommend it. If you're in the UK, I don't know if there's any way you can watch it outside of the UK. I think there should be. I think it should be made universal, because I think everyone needs to watch it. I watched it with my mum and we both really loved it, and we're both crying in the last episode. No spoilers here, but you need some tissues when you finish the show. Okay, so moving on to something a little less sad and a little bit more scary. So this next is a film called I See You. It's made in 2019. It's on Netflix. It's a horror film, which I don't really like. I mean, I like watching horrors sometimes, but horrors aren't like my genre of choice, but my boyfriend really likes them and always forces me to make them. So there's like one of my high school friends, she loves horror, so I would always watch them with her, and so like both of them have made like sort of forced me to watch horrors and get used to them basically. So it's really scary, but it also like stayed in my head for quite a long time, so I'd say it's definitely like a thought-provoking film. I'll just Google the plot. So, strange occurrences plague a small town detective and his family as he investigates the disappearance of a boy. I don't want to give away like the main thing, but the main plot you can sort of find out. Actually, no, you find out at the beginning. So basically, no, you don't actually. I'm not going to give it away. But it's really good. I definitely watch it. It's very like a mystery, but it's one of those films where it's not supernatural, like real things are actually happening, and I much prefer that because I don't really believe in supernatural stuff like ghosts, and I find it scarier when it's explained, but I also like it's more satisfying to me that it's explained and there's a reason for it. I just prefer that really. So I would give it probably a 7 out of 10. Like it's a well-made horror film. You know, some horror films are just like, you can tell the budget was really small and like you can just tell it's not the best and like it's sort of almost laughable, but this was actually scary. So some of the cast are Helen Hunt, Judah Lewis, Owen Teague, Libby Barra, John Tenney, Sam Trammell, Erica Alexander. So yeah, it's an American horror story as well. I'm not sure if I said that. But yes. So the next one is another UK show called The Bay. I watched this on ITV Player. They put the whole series actually just on the player, even though it was on TV every week, so me and my mum watched it together. Series 2 was out this year, 2021, and Series 1 was in 2019. I watched Series 1 on my own, but you don't need to have seen Series 1 to watch Series 2, so my mum just watched second one with me. But series 1 was really, really good. Like, I love crime dramas, like the classic ITV, BBC crime drama, you know, your Happy Valley, your Broadchurch. I just enjoy them. But this series was a bit of a letdown. They got me in. They gripped me in. They said, oh look, this is basically, there's a murder. You don't know what's happened, and it's all about, you know, family dynamics. You start to question whether someone in the family has done it, who's done this, basically. So I was gripped, and I was really invested in the story. And then the ending, it's like they just got to the last half an hour of the show and just thought, we haven't actually thought of a reason for there to be a killer, so let's just write one. It was so underdeveloped. Like, it really just felt like they'd just been like, oh, let's just make them the killer. Like, I was so annoyed. I was so annoyed that I wasted all that time watching it and thinking it was going to be good and just being disappointed. And then I was just left with so many questions. And I guess maybe that's leading up to the series 3. But that is not satisfying to me as a viewer, to leave a series finale with more questions than I started with. I just sat there like, is that the end? I thought, surely, no, that's not the end. There's more, right? And then it just stopped. And I was like, right, okay. I don't really know what to say about that. So I'd give it maybe a 5 out of 10. I feel like that's being generous because I am rewarding the clever writing of the beginning, but the end just wasn't the best. And it's got Miguel Morgan Christie in, who we obviously love. I have just realised I haven't read the plot, so let's read that now. Morgan Christie stars as D.S. Lisa Armstrong in Morecambe-based crime drama The Bay. When D.S. Armstrong is drawn into the search for teenage twins who have gone missing in the coastal town, she is perturbed to realise that she has a personal connection to the case. So that is actually about series 1, which was really good, but this one is not so good. Some of the cast members are Imogen King, Joe Absalom, Sharon Small, and there's lots more as well. But I literally love Morgan Christie, and I was just so disappointed. I mean, she was really good. She's always amazing. She's such a good actor. But yeah, disappointed. So I would maybe actually just say just watch series 1 and don't waste your time watching series 2, unless you're fine being disappointed. Or maybe wait till series 3 is out and then you can watch series 2 and have your questions answered. But that won't be for a while, so I don't know. The next is The Bachelor. So this season is out this year. It's 2021 season with Matt James as The Bachelor. It's on ABC. It's on in America. Now I have watched The Bachelor for like a few years now. I don't really watch The Bachelorette, I just watched The Bachelor maybe like 4 years or something, and it's just so good. Like, there's just something, American TV is done very differently to British TV, but I really like the sort of dramatic feel of this show, and it's like always really addictive. This season, however, has not been so addictive. I'll just read out the synopsis. I mean, I feel like everyone knows what The Bachelor is. Not everyone, but a lot of people. So, to find his true love and life partner, a bachelor dates a group of women over several weeks who compete in a series of challenges that are meant to prove their compatibility with him. So basically, it's one man, he gets like 30 women, and like gradually has to like knock them down as he goes on group dates, one-on-one dates with them all, and then they have these roses, and if you get a rose, it means you're through to the next week. This series, normally they like fly and jet about the world, but this series has been done under COVID regulations, so basically they can't move, so they're just in a hotel. So I feel like maybe that's why it's not been as exciting, but the producers, like the way they've edited the show, they've really edited it just based on like the drama within the women, which is like, it can be interesting obviously, but also I feel like we're not getting any of the love story at all, and that leads me to question whether there is one. It's not finished yet, so we don't know who wins. I think I know who wins, but we don't know yet. But yeah, it has still been good, but I think maybe just not as good as previous years. I think he has been a good bachelor, but maybe sometimes I just needed him to step up and say stuff instead of like sitting by and letting the women interrupt each other. Like, I just think I would be like, no, I'm just gonna spend 5 more minutes with her and then I'll come and see you, instead of just being like, oh yeah, that's fine. But yeah, I am still very hooked to see what happens. There's 2 episodes left from when I'm filming this. So yeah, I can't wait. And they're like literally an hour and a half long, so it's literally like watching a film. And it's like once a week, so I like wait every week for the next installment. And I also listen to the podcast that Becca and Rachel do. They were both previously on The Bachelor, and then they were bachelorettes. So yes, I'd probably give that a 6 out of 10 for this series, just because I am comparing it to previous series, I guess. Okay, the 10th and final show is Escape from Pretoria. I just lied. It's a film. It's on Amazon Prime. It's a Prime original. It's literally just come out, so when you go on Prime, it'll probably be at the top of your Prime with like a moody looking picture of Daniel Radcliffe. So I will read you the synopsis for this because it's an interesting one. So, it says it was made in 2020, but I'm pretty sure it's just gone on Amazon, or maybe it's just gone on the UK Amazon. But it says 2 white South Africans imprisoned for working on behalf of the African National Congress are determined to escape from the notorious Pretoria prison. So it's set in South Africa in 1979 during the apartheid laws that were in place. So it was all about segregation, and these 2 white men are trying to like spread information and educate to stop this segregation, basically. But they are imprisoned for their actions. One of them is in prison for 12 years, the other for 8. It's a real story, so these men were real. And it's about their escape from prison, which was a real escape. It's really cool that it's real. Like, it makes it feel more, makes me feel more invested in the story, and I'm like, well, someone actually did this. Like, prison escapes, like, that's another level of smart. So yeah, it's really interesting, and if you enjoy things that are tense, I would say this is definitely good. I guess it's kind of in the thriller genre, but it did make me a bit nervous, like, because there was a lot of tense moments and it was a lot to deal with. My heart rate was going, and like, there was moments where I actually just didn't watch. I just had to like put a pillow in front of my face and just wait for it to be over, because there was a lot of scenes with like Daniel Radcliffe doing really heavy breathing, and it just, like, literally 2 minutes long of just him breathing, and I found it very intense. I'll get the rest of the cast up for you now. So Daniel Radcliffe is the main man, called Tim Jenkin. Daniel Webber is Stephen Lee, who is the other man who goes to prison. Mark Leonard Winter plays Leonard, who is a man that they meet in there and join forces with to try and escape, basically. And I love when it's a real life story, and at the end of your film you get like the picture of the actor next to the picture of the real person, and you're like, oh wow. And looking at the pictures, they got the casting really right. And I do think, like, obviously Daniel Radcliffe is known for Harry Potter, right? But this acting was really, really good. Like, it was very like a far cry from Harry Potter. And not that Harry Potter's not good, I think Harry Potter's amazing, but I think you can see that he's kind of trying to prove that he is a serious actor and that he can do other stuff, and like that he's not just pigeonholed into one type of role or just one role in its entirety. So yeah, I would give that a 6 out of 10. I would definitely recommend watching it, but then also like the amount of nervousness it gave me, it was a bit stressful. Like I was watching it with my housemates, so I think if I'd been watching it on my own I might have turned it off, but because I was with them, we were all watching it together. But yeah. So that is the end of my what I've been watching. If you have any recommendations for things on different streaming platforms, do let me know. I'm always looking for new stuff to watch, especially at the moment, going through things very quickly, because lockdown and, you know, what else is there to do apart from watch stuff on Amazon Prime and procrastinate from my work I have to do. So yeah, thank you so much if you made it to the end of this video. I hope you're feeling nice and relaxed and maybe have some inspiration for things to watch and things to not watch. So yeah, I hope you have a nice sleep or have a nice rest of your day, whatever you're doing. So night night.